Hey Nintendo fans and collectors, this is Lithium017 from my channel Nintendo Collecting 101, bringing you my second gaming story. I'm bringing them back because it's been almost a year since my first video, so check out that video. It was all about Sonic 2 and the Sega Genesis, which was my first console. Ivory, my fiance, is here with an extra set of hands, so I can use both my hands, so that's great. But gaming story number 2 is all about Super Mario Bros. 3, which my best friend had growing up. He had the NES console, which I have over here. And I had the Sega Genesis growing up. So I would love it when I went to his house and I got the opportunity to play this game. But there's so many tricks in this game that I just didn't know about. But I remember just going over to his house, taking out the game, just getting really excited and being able to play it for a few hours. But because he owned it and he wasn't amazing at it, we couldn't get through the whole game, and he didn't like playing it for all that long, whereas I wanted to play it the whole time. So what we would do is we'd take the game, obviously. Oh my god, look at that. You put it in. And now anticipation's rising, if you remember the 90s. And then you can just play on this controller, which to me was so strange, because I remember the Genesis controller was rounded, it was curved, it felt better in my hands, but when I finally got the opportunity to play Mario, it was weird how A and B were backwards, so for me that was strange. Getting used to the controls in Mario for the first time was weird, but I eventually did it, and I wasn't that great at the game, but he would only really, we'd play for an hour, and then he would just get bored because I wouldn't really know what to do or where to go that well, and I would die a lot. But this game was amazing. It was a lot of fun. It also brought back, or not brought back, it introduced us to all of the Koopa kids. So you have Larry, and this one here, it says Montron. It says Montron Koopa Jr., which is kind of like Jontron, but it's Morton. And then you have Wendy, Iggy, Ludwig, Lemmy, and Roy. And I never got to Ludwig. We never really saw it when I was growing up. We just didn't get there. But this is the first time that I really saw Mario's power-ups and everything like that, other than just the original Mario, which is Mario 1. So I remember looking through the manual. I remember trying to figure out how to actually beat the game. I remember looking at this screen and thinking it was really, really strange how it kind of looked like a stage. And yeah, all of the game takes place on a stage and everything's pinned to the walls. Look at this manual, it's so cool. So I remember looking through this and growing up. And then eventually when I finally got my own Nintendo, the first console I bought was the Nintendo 64, and that will be time for another gaming story another day. But because I loved Mario 3 experience so much, I eventually got a decal actually for my Wii, which is based off of Super Mario Bros. 3, which is awesome. And then actually, I originally thought of the idea to make this awesome table. So she's just going to take a shot of all the worlds in the table and kind of go through World 1 all the way up to World 4 at least. And moving through all the worlds, I really liked how it kind of was an escape. It was like you were on an adventure, you were going through all these different areas, there were new challenges in every world, and it just got harder as you went about. And I was really impressed with the graphics, and I was really impressed with all the castles, and the boss system, the power-ups. Everything in the game to me was just so awesome, even though the NES was actually worse than the Sega Genesis. So let me just actually move the table, and she'll move around to show you the other ones that I made, the other levels, to give you all of them. I made this table with the power-ups, so in this world you actually get the Fire Flower, so in the next world you can be in the Fire Flower suit and face these enemies, and at the end of the world you can get in Karibo's shoe, so that you're kind of in Karibo's shoe, which is an error on the table, but it doesn't really matter. I know he was only in World 5-3, and at the end of this world you can get the Hammer Bros suit, so in the final Dark World, you can beat Bowser in the Hammer Bros suit. So this game really inspired me. It was one of the reasons why I started to really like Nintendo and started to really like Mario. Without it, I don't know if I ever would have started Nintendo collecting that I did. So that is my gaming story from the early 90s, and Super Mario Bros. 3 was probably one of the reasons why I started to like Nintendo gaming. Thank you for watching, feel free to subscribe, and hopefully I'll bring you another gaming story, maybe once a month or something like that. I always release videos on Mondays and Fridays.
Okay, thanks!